This is a brand new battery tray, and I also got a GM one wire alternator. So it's probably going to take a little doing to get that alternator in there. Looks like the pulley's about the same size. I don't know, might go in pretty easy. And the battery tray I thought was awful small, but when I put it up here close to the battery, you know, it's about the right size. So at any rate, I got a battery tray and an alternator, so I can kind of mock these up and see what I got. And then I can work some more on this wiring harness if I need something for the solenoid or coil or whatever. I started working on the alternator here. First problem is the bolt was too big for the hole, so I drilled out the bracket there. The bolt will go in. Looks like I'm going to have to put about a 1-inch spacer in there. It looks like my pulley's lining up pretty close. I can space it back and forth a little bit there. Might be a little bit too forward. That's good. I can just move it back. But we've got the fan. I thought it looked a little big, and it's hitting this mounting bracket here. Not much, but it is hitting it. So I'm going to have to grind that bracket down so the fan will clear. I'll pull it out and do that. Too bad. I was able to use a cutoff tool and trim the bottom of that up. The adjusting bolt on the bottom, took a smaller one, like a 7/16 instead of 1/2 inch. The fan is turning, but you can see, you know, it's going all the way around, and it's got a couple blades that are sticking out too far. They hit right there. So I'm going to take a little more off of this. It's probably only these, maybe even only one fan blade. You can't really see what it's hitting there. It's really close. You know, I might be able to, let's see where it's hit on this side. Look like it's just this one blade here. Well, that blade might be bent. Let me see if I can do something to it. Bend it in a little. It's almost clearing. That's chrome, so I don't want to grind on it. But it's not one little blade sticking out. It's contacting it. I was able to use the same belt and everything else, so I'm not going to cry about that too much. I'll just grind a little bit more off the bottom of that bracket. But it basically went in the same place. I had to drill it out. I'll have to put a spacer in it and trim my bracket up so it'll clear. But it's lining up good. I think Mr. Alternator will work just fine. Getting kind of dark, so long day for me. We'll call it quits on this video. At least I got my charging voltage regulator fixed. Oh, there's my alternator in. Took some tweaking. I made a spacer here. Took a couple of them. Had to grind them down to fit, but it went in good. The belt's really tight. Nothing's hitting anything. I resoldered my positive down there. You can see the red one. That goes to this big black wire. It comes up here. So I don't see any reason why it shouldn't work. It looks good. I gotta clean up those hoses. They're terrible. Probably some acetone. Make them look a lot better. We're still kind of a long ways away from cleaning everything. But my one wire alternator went in fine. I'll just have to fire it up and test it. I should be able to do that. I'll see what happens. Before I started putting the battery and checking all that stuff out, I figured I might as well just do it right. So I put my battery tray in, bored a hole through my patch plate, and put a couple good bolts in it. Turned out this undercoat turned black. It was kind of brown looking when I put it on, but I put a new grade 8 bolt up in there. Not for strength particularly, but just because I like the way they look. And now I can put on my bumper brace. I ordered a new one. But battery tray's in, looks good, solid, bolted down tight. Now I'll put a battery in it and see what happens. I'd kill a couple birds with one stone. I'd changed this oil sending unit. This is the one that it's supposed to have, great big one. It wasn't reading right, so I bought this one. But when I turn the key on, this one here already shows me almost full oil pressure. So I thought I'd put the oil pressure gauge in, and that way I can see if the oil pressure is working as well as the charging rate. Everything in looks like it's showing about 11.5, 12 volts. My oil gauge, I went back to 0. I still got a quarter of a tank. Hopefully everything's right. Whoa. It drops down to 10 volts. For some reason I think my my battery must be dead. Well, I guess I'll have to charge the battery. Sure enough, this thing is showing 25%. 2 amps is showing 75%. But it's definitely not good enough. Try jumping the solenoid again. Sounds like that alternator's hitting. Damn. Well, I'll just have to find out which one of those blades is doing it, and I've got it all in there, man. I really hate to try to grind it now, but if it's gonna hit, it's gonna hit. I can't have that. Put the charger on 50 amp engine start, and now I got 13 volts. Turned out the alternator's not hitting anything, it's just squeaking the belt. Well, it's running. It's hitting something. Looks like my oil just barely come up to low. That's what it was before. But I got 60 pounds of oil pressure. So now I'll turn it off. See if I can find out what's hitting on that alternator fan. I was looking at it. It's not round, it's really kind of crooked, but I should be able to see where it's scored. And my oil pressure dropped down here. So let's see what it does on. I don't know if it's going to come back up or not. Well, that gauge is not working, obviously, so I'll probably have to use the other sending unit and play the resistance in it. Yeah, so I got 13 volts chargers on right now. Anyway, I'll find out what's going on with that alternator. I did quite a bit of grinding on that. Ground it off all the way up into about half of the hole that the bolt goes through. I didn't really mean to do that, but it did. And it looks like it's got a lot of room in there. I've got it tightened up again. So we'll try starting it and see what happens. Alright, got the alternator in and bolted up. I tried this big sending unit here. It was 60 pounds. It was just barely showing low, so I put this other one back.